Hello, Virgo. Welcome to SHELO Mystics. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Today's reading is for July 2026, Love Tarot reading. We'll be exploring the energies surrounding your love life using a Celtic Cross spread to understand your love situation, challenges you're facing, hidden influence, and what may unfold next, whatever the state of the situation about your relationship is. So please remember this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. The energies can be interchangeable, so at times you may resonate more with other person's energy than your own. So tarot is meant for offer guidance and clarity. This does not replace your free will. You choose your choice will always shape your future. So if this reading resonates with you, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with someone who may need to hear this message. Now, Virgo, let's connect with your energy and see what Spirit has in store for your love life the July 2026. The central position issue or the heart of the matter is the world, and the obstacles, challenges are Six of Wands. The hidden influence or subconscious energy is Knight of Pentacles. In the past, influence is Ten of Pentacles. The known influence is Judgment or the conscious energy. And your near future is Five of Swords. How you view yourself or your energy is Eight of Pentacles. Your environment is Devil. And your hopes and dreams or hopes and fears are Seven of Cups. What is their action towards you? Ace of Swords. And the outcome is Chariot. All right. Let's pull up the clarifiers for all of these cards. Virgo, the center of the reading is the world. So, this tells me immediately that you're closing a significant chapter in your love life. This isn't just about the ending of a relationship for someone. This is the ending of an old version of yourself too. Something within you has shifted and you're no longer looking at love through the same lens that you once did. And the Nine of Pentacles here clarifies this that I see someone who has learned to become comfortable in their own company. Here, you have worked hard to build yourself back up. You have invested in your own peace, your own confidence, your own stability, and your own happiness. Whether you're single or in a connection, or you're beginning to understand what happiness cannot solely depend on another person, there is a beautiful sense of self worth that is emerging here. And we have Devil in reverse here. It confirms that many of you are breaking free from unhealthy patterns. This could be the dependency, letting go of control, walking away from toxic cycle, or simply refusing to repeat the same emotional lesson over and over again. So you're no longer willing to sacrifice your own peace just to keep the relationship together. For some of you, this could also represent releasing the guilt or fear that has been keeping you in emotionally tied to someone. So you're recognizing that love should never require you to lose yourself. What is also interesting here is that later in your spread, the world here is also the card of completion. Sometimes we don't receive the next blessing until we truly close the previous chapter. It's almost the spirit is saying you have learned the lesson, now not reopen the book. So for many Virgo, July feels like the month where you stop chasing answers and start choosing yourself. That does not mean you stop believing in love. It simply means you're no longer willing to settle for less than what you deserve. And for the obstacle, we have Six of Wands. The challenge this month is Six of Wands. I don't see this as an ego negative sense. I see this as learning to recognize your own value without constantly seeking validation from another people, for other people. So this tells me that you have become much stronger than you give credit for yourself. You have learned to stand tall, to know your worth, and to walk with confidence. But confidence often comes with the lesson. It requires boundaries. We do have justice. This is where the message becomes very clear. One of the biggest obstacle in this connection has been imbalance. Perhaps you have given more than what you have received. Maybe you have compromised your own needs to keep the pace, or maybe you have accepted the bare minimum while hoping things would eventually improve. So justice reminds you that relationship cannot thrive without fairness, accountability, or mutual respect. So some of you have reached a stage where you're saying that you deserve to be chosen just as much as you choose someone else. So that's a powerful shift. I also feel this combination is asking you not to overlook your own needs anymore. Sometimes Virgo naturally becomes a fixer, the helper, or the person trying to make everything work. But the spirit is asking you, who's taking care of you? So the Six of Wands here is also carries an energy of recognition. You're beginning to recognize what exactly you want in a relationship, what your standards are, and what you're no longer you're willing to tolerate. So there's a healthy sense of pride developing here, not arrogance but self-respect. So the justice here asking you to do the right thing even when it is difficult. If someone wants a place in your life, there has to be a reciprocity, there has to be honesty, and there has to be effort from both the sides. In the hidden influence, we have Knight of Pentacles. Deep beneath the surface, the hidden influence tells us that the connection has been likely moving at a very slow pace. Some of you may have felt that progress was happening inch by inch, almost like watching a paint dry. So every time you thought things were finally moving forward, something caused another delay. So it's very fascinating to see. It's clarified by Eight of Wands, which normally represents movement, communication, and momentum. It's almost contradictory at first glance. A slow moving knight being clarified by one of the fastest card in deck. To me, it says that communication may have happened, feelings may have been expressed, attraction may have been present, but the actual relationship did not move at the same speed. There was conversation without consistent action. There were moments of excitement followed by a period of waiting. Then there is Nine of Wands here, which explains why. Someone here has become emotionally exhausted after repeated disappointment. It looks very much like you and delayed or setbacks. The wall has naturally begun to form, even though there is hope and it's a caution. It's the kind of hope that says that I want to believe you, but I also need to protect myself. So, for some Virgos, you have reached a point where you're no longer willing to carry the entire relationship. You're willing to meet someone as much as they put in effort, but you're no longer willing to walk the whole distance by yourself here. So the hidden energy also explains that why the world appears at the center of the reading. The slow pace and the uncertainty and the emotional strain has transformed you. They haven't broken you, they have matured you. The spirit is reminding you that the patience should never become an excuse for indefinite waiting. Healthy relationship moves move forward. They may not move quickly, but they do move consistently. So that difference you're beginning to realize or recognize in July. In the past is Ten of Pentacles. Virgo, your past is represented here, which tells me that this connection was not casual. There was vision here, there was hope for something long term, stable, and that could eventually grow into a family, committed partnership, and a life built together. So many of you, this wasn't just about the romance. This was about building a future. You may have imagined what your home would look like, how your life would unfold together, or even envisioned marriage, children. There was a genuine potential for permanence. However, that beautiful vision did not unfold without the challenges. Five of Swords tells me that there's a conflict which was never fully resolved. There may have been misunderstanding, ego clashes, difficult conversation, or a situation where both of you kind of walked away feeling unheard. Sometimes this card isn't just about one person winning or the other losing. This is about realizing when that communication breaks down, everybody kind of loses something. So the Five of Cups here. This talks about emotional disappointment, grief, and regret. It feels as though the arguments and misunderstanding eventually turned into sadness. Instead of enjoying that security of the Ten of Pentacles promised, there were growing awareness of what is not working. Even though those disappointments, I don't feel there's a desire to commit, completely kind of disappeared. So rather than the emotional weight of this unresolved issues, it became to overshadow the love and the stability that both of you may have wanted here. And in the known influence, we have the judgment. So this tells me that you're no longer looking into the situation through the same perspective you once had. The life has given you the experience that has changed the way you approach the relationship. You're kind of beginning to experience what has changed the way you have approached a relationship. You're beginning to ask yourself deeper questions instead of simply reacting to the emotions. The Page of Cups here tells me your heart is still capable of love. You're still willing to be emotionally open with the right person. You haven't become cold or closed off. Instead, you're learning that vulnerability should exist along the side with the healthy boundaries. We do have the Ten of Wands. This tells me why this inner transformation is taking place. You have been carrying a lot. Whether those burdens came from this relationship, your personal responsibilities, emotional exhaustion, or constantly feeling like you had to hold everything together, you have reached a point where you're no longer continuing to carry what does not belong to you. The judgment is asking you to kind of release those burdens so you can move forward from a place of wisdom rather than obligation. I also feel this card is encouraging forgiveness, not necessarily forgetting what happened, but releasing the emotional weight that has been setting on your shoulders for far too long. And in the near future, we have Five of Swords. It's interesting because it tells me that there is still conversation that needs to happen because there are still issues that cannot completely or simply can be ignored or pushed aside. This is sometimes just gonna be left unresolved. So July brings an opportunity to finally address it. So the Knight of Wands brings the moment, passion, attraction, and desire to take action. There's definitely chemistry here. There may have been a renewed effort to reconnect or re-engage with one another. So the Knight of Wands can sometimes move quickly. So the spirit is asking you not to confuse passion with lasting change. So the Sun brings the change or the shift into the stone into this position here. It eliminates everything that has been hidden. It could be the flaws, it could be the best part of the connection. It brings everything to light. It offers you the clarity which were once being confused, whether uncertainty you have been carrying. The cards kind of suggest that the answer is going to be emerging. So when you observe the Five of Swords here kind of appears for the second time. Once it was already there in the past and in the future also. This highlights that there is an unresolved conflict, misunderstanding, and disappointments. So it turns as the main energy of your near future. So to me, the spirit is emphasizing that the same issue cannot continue to be avoided. It comes back, but this time it does not return alone. It also comes with the sun. This tells me this isn't about repeating old cycle, it's about finally understanding them. Whether the clarity comes through honest conversation or someone's action or your own realization, you are no longer left guessing here. And that word give you the power to decide what comes next. So your energy is Eight of Pentacles. See, this is one of my favorite position in this entire reading because this says so much about where you emotionally are. So this is you putting in effort. You're no longer looking for shortcuts. You're expecting anything magically to fall into place. Instead, you're focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, whether that is emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, or even physically. You're investing your energy where it truly matters. So it's again clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. It's kind of double downs the idea of, emphasizes how much you're working on yourself. The Queen of Cups here tells me that your heart is very much open despite everything you have been through. You have not lost the ability to love. You're simply becoming wiser about where you invest your emotions. You're learning that love should never require you to abandon yourself. Now there is something very significant as we see this Eight of Pentacle appearing as the clarifier. The spirit is asking us to pay close attention that this isn't just about working hard, it's about consistently choosing yourself. The healing isn't something that happens overnight. Building confidence does not really come that quickly. So learning healthier relationship pattern also takes a lot of time. So, Spirit is acknowledging the work you have already done. It's encouraging you to continue. The more you invest in yourself, the less you'll find yourself accepting relationship that fails to meet your standards. And also, it takes a lot to just rebuild yourself. You're becoming very emotionally stronger, and that's one of the biggest transformation taking place in July. Whatever the disappointments are, whatever the issues have been, so you're focusing to rebuild. Your environment is devil. Okay, so it's immediately caught my attention because this is appearing for the second time in your reading. But at the very heart of the reading here, this was reversed. You can see the devil is reversed here. So the spirit shows that they were internally breaking free from the unhealthy attachment here and the codependency, fear, or limiting belief. But here in your environment, it tells a different story. To tell this says that although you have been doing all your inner healing, your circumstances haven't completely changed. There may still be people, situation, habits, or dynamics around you that are trying to pull you back into this familiar pattern. There is a reinforcement of being avoiding decision or refusing to face the truth completely. There has been hesitation, indecision, or emotional stalemate. However, the Wheel of Fortune tells me that life isn't allowing the situation to remain stuck forever. The circumstances are changing. Whether someone is ready or not, whether you want to change or not, the universe has a way of moving situation forward when they have kind of been remained stagnant for far too long. This also reminds that you cannot control another person's choice also. Don't be waiting on anybody else. What you can control is how you respond to them. I've already started breaking free internally that we have seen in the central issues here. Now the external world is beginning to catch up with the changes you have already made within yourself. The hopes and fears are Seven of Cups. It reveals something very human. It tells me that life has been uncertain. Perhaps you have questioned where this connection was heading. You have wondered what promises would actually become reality, or perhaps you have simply found yourself overwhelmed by possibilities, unable to see which path you truly meant for you. So at the heart of it all, this your greatest hope is represented by the Ten of Cups. You wanted peace, you want a relationship where both of you kind of feel chosen every single day. So you want something that feels emotionally safe, secure, and capable of lasting. But your fear is reflecting in Three of Cups. For some of you, this may represent worrying that things may never move beyond friendship, temporary happiness, or surface level connection. For others, this could represent the concern outside influence or situation that will interfere into this relationship. So, whatever resonates with your story, the spirit is asking you to separate genuine and emotional fulfillment from wishful thinking. So, a healthy love does not leave you constantly wondering where you stand. Their action towards you is Ace of Swords. This is a very powerful position. Their action towards you represents, by the Ace of Swords, tells me that the communication, truth, honesty, and clarity becomes extremely important. This isn't energy of hiding. This isn't an energy of avoiding difficult conversation. So this is someone wanting to cut through the confusion. And the Five of Wands tells me that before this, the clarity arrives. Some unresolved disagreements or differences may need to be acknowledged. Not every difficult conversation is a bad conversation. Sometimes people need to speak up honestly about what went wrong before healing can begin. So, the Six of Cups tells me that the past hasn't been forgotten. There is still emotional attachment, memories. There may have been nostalgia or someone reflecting on the happier times. Taken together, these cards suggest that this person may have reached out or communicate with the intention to address unfinished business rather than pretending it never happened. The conversation may not solve everything overnight, but it does have the potential to replace the confusion with truth. As we have already seen throughout the reading, the clarity has been one of the spirit's strongest message for you this month. And the Five of Wands also. Now let's check at your spirit message or the guidance. And the spirit guidance. Goodness. Hold on. Being ready. Are you ready to do instead of just dreaming? Get what you need and jump in. Surf up. Don't dive blindly but go. Any direction. You only need the courage to take one step. The world is waiting for you. Moment makes miracles. That's your second card. And the third card. You have arrived. You have reached the pinnacle. See how far you have come. Begin again. Reach a turning point. So, Virgo, let's close this reading with the spirit guidance because I absolutely love how these cards build upon one another. It's almost as if the spirit is giving you a roadmap for the next chapter of your life. And the first message is asking you to be ready. Are you ready to do instead of just dream? So, for some of you, you have spent a long time waiting for the circumstances to change, waiting for someone to make decisions, waiting for clarity, or waiting for life to move forward. But the Spirit is saying that July is no longer a month for you to wait, it's a month of preparation and action. This reading has been preparing you for that moment. So, you have released unhealthy patterns, you have started recognizing your worth, you have begun investing in yourself. Now, Spirit is asking you to be ready for what is next. And any direction talks about. It's reminding you that life does not require you to have every single answer before you take the first step. Don't dive blindly, but don't remain stuck either. You only need the courage to take one step. The world is waiting for you. The moment makes a miracle here. That's something the cards do describe. Sometimes, Virgo, you can spend so much time trying to make the perfect decision that no decision gets made at all. The spirit isn't asking you to know every detail for your future. Its spirit is simply asking you to trust yourself enough to take the next step, whether that opening your heart again or having a honest conversation, setting healthier boundaries, or choosing completely different path. Momentum begins with one courageous decision, and finally, it's to the last message is you have arrived. This is a beautiful card because it does not mean your journey is over. It means that you have reached a milestone here. Take a moment to acknowledge how you have grown. You're not the same person you were when this journey began. You have become wiser, stronger, and more aware of what you kind of deserve. The spirit is asking you to celebrate the progress instead of focusing only on how much further you think you have gone. Your reading started with the world, a card of completing one chapter, and it ends with the chariot, a card of moving confidently into the next. The spirit is confirming this isn't an ending to fear, it's a new beginning to embrace. So there is one message I would like to there is one message I would like you to take away from this reading. It's don't let the fear keep you standing still. Trust the work you have already done, trust the wisdom you have gained. Take the next step with confidence because Spirit is showing that every lesson you have experienced have been preparing you for this life and the love you truly deserve. Thank you very much for being part of this session. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you do, please do leave a comment and like and share, subscribe to this video. Until next time, take care.